Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name's Luke, and I'm joined by Justin Pippens, who's returning back to the show to join us and talk about his upcoming 247 championships fight May 22nd. Justin, or Jay, welcome to the show.
Good. How you doing?
It's great to have you back. I originally had you on the show before what would have been your debut, but COVID scrapped the whole card back in March, and then you made your debut in November, and now here you are making your fight May 22nd. The last time you were on the show, you talked a lot about how you got into MMA, how you originally were training as a semi-pro football player, doing a whole bunch of different sports. So let's talk about the November fight. It was a weird fight, weird ending, but you did get your debut fight in. So let's talk about it. Walk me through that fight that happened right around Thanksgiving there at the empty Monroeville Convention Center because of COVID. So it was a weird night. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, it was super weird. I really don't know what happened. It was a draw.
Yes.
I guess I got hit in the legs a couple times. So I don't know. I got a point deducted for, I guess, hitting them on the ground, I guess.
And that hurt. That probably hurt you the most on the scorecards. Yeah.
Yeah. That probably was it. But other than that, I can't call it. I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Let's talk about how you felt during the fight, because obviously the results, and that is a weird part about the judging system. When a referee takes off a point as a punishment, that could be for holding onto the fence, an illegal strike. In your case, a strike he deemed, illegal, grounded opponent, all of that, which would not have existed in a pro fight. But regardless, they have to do that. It's an enforced penalty. But how did you feel cardio-wise, technique-wise? I know you're an athlete, but you've been waiting over a year for this. What was it like to finally be fighting?
I felt good, but I definitely got winded way faster than I thought I would. Way faster than I thought I would. But I felt good though. I really can't wait for this fight. But I felt good about that fight for real. But besides the draw and me being tired holding my knees, that's it. That was it.
Well, I will ask you a little bit more about what the cardio load on fighting is, because I've worked with football players, and no doubt football players are stud athletes in incredible physical shape, but there's a built-in recovery period in football that I think makes it super exciting to watch the NFL or any football you watch, because they're able to jump and hit or whatever you like about football. They're able to do it at maximum capacity because they have about 10 to 15 seconds of exercise and 30 to 40 seconds of recovery over and over and over again. So compare that, because you used to play and get paid to play. So what do you think the cardio's like fighting compared to football? And what do you think, compare both of them?
See, with football, I was only in there for 4 downs, so I don't gotta,
right.
It's straight. I could go hard every time in 4 downs.
Right.
With the fighting, you gotta take your time. You gotta really have that win for real, or you're just it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. You can't I don't know. With football, it was just more easier because one, there's a team, and you just already know I'm playing defense, so I just gotta get to the quarterback. I don't gotta do nothing else. There's nothing else to do. So that cardio was easy for me, but with this is a whole nother story. I got tired in 2-minute rounds. I do 10 5-minute jiu-jitsu rounds back to back to back. As soon as I go to the cage for 2 minutes, I'm tired. That was crazy.
Well, we're laughing about it, but it is important to point out that even though some people look at Pennsylvania rules, 3 2-minute rounds, and say, wow, that's so short, like you're talking about jiu-jitsu or wrestling, which is longer, or obviously the pro level. But I think 2 minutes still has a lot going on within those 2 minutes. And excitement level, energy level, dump wise, you're from a world, which I think most sports are, where you mentioned it, you have a team. Even if you have a bad snap or a bad play,
Yeah,
something good could have happened. It could be
yeah,
the best stop of the day, and it didn't come from you. Whereas
from
in
you.
fighting,
Uh-huh.
it has to be from you, or else it won't happen. Did you feel like there was an energy dump or an adrenaline dump, given the fact that you did kind of feel tired quickly into it? And where do you think your energy level will be this time?
Yes, it definitely was an energy dump because I was holding my knees a lot. I don't even like that. I don't like watching that fight with me holding my knees like that at all. I don't like that. But I should be good cardio wise this time. I really started going good cardio now. So like probably like last week I started going cardio hard. So I should be cool with cardio this time. I'm plus I know what to expect this time. I know not to. Yeah, I know a lot to what to expect with them 2 minutes, thinking I'm not going to be tired.
Absolutely. Well, and there's the mental prep you can't really do until you've done it. And I think in your case, clearly what you're doing this last month or 3 weeks of training will help. You now know, get the skills right, get the weight, get your body right, but then do the cardio. But
Mm-hmm.
another thing is you now expect it. Now I have seen some fighters where they expect it so much. I don't know if you've watched the now infamous fight between Francis Ngannou uh, and the Black Beast, and of course they're going to
Yeah,
run back. But that's probably, it's not just the cardio. There was some psychological things going on with Francis having just lost for the first time ever against Stipe, and kind of not knowing what his body was capable of or not capable of, and timid. But I do think that there are times in fights where you have to kind of hold your energy and then see what the fight requires. You are an all-around athlete, and you did not come from a wrestling background or a striking background. You came from a football, athletic, do anything you want. Now that you've been in there, does striking or clinching, grappling feel better? You were a defensive lineman, so I'm guessing that body pull push feels more familiar. Kind of, where did you feel as far as comfortability goes through your first fight?
um, well, we didn't go to the ground. We just basically boxed that whole fight. But
Right.
I would have liked to go. I don't really like to go to the ground if I don't want to, if I don't have to. But I like jiu-jitsu a lot though, for real, for real. I got gold medals and all that, so I like it a lot. But I'd rather stand up. I'd rather stand up.
I actually was bringing it up for that. I've seen on your Facebook page that you have won no-gi tournaments in obviously heavyweight no-gi tournaments, and I think that's good that you've pushed yourself to do jujitsu, even though you'd prefer to stand. And I think there was some against the cage. I think that's one big thing that happens, particularly in heavyweights, is the cage becomes such an important part of the fight, pushing somebody or turning or whatever, because um, it it will stop you. You can't just push somebody
Yeah, you can.
wherever
Yep.
the cage will stop. So it's very exciting to see you back in there. Can't wait. Now you were somebody that we talked in March and then again in November. You're a popular guy. You're very friendly. People like you. You're going to have a lot of people in the audience to support you. It was a long time coming. Clearly, March and then November, and then if people don't know, 4 days, 3 days before the fight, the state of
Same day.
yep, they took away all the fans. And so what's it like going into this fight knowing that there's going to be fans? Who are you excited to have in person for you May 22nd?
My mom. I'm excited to have my mom there, and the whole crowd. I can't wait. I told you I would love to put on a show for a
Yeah,
crowd, and that's what I like to do. So it's going to be a big difference in this fight than last fight.
it is. It is. And I mean, obviously, you've been a paid athlete that has performed in front of crowds. So I think that's something obviously that you love and will love. And the MMA crowd environment feels completely different because of how close. I go to football games, high school, college, it doesn't, a pro, it's obviously at a different level, but at all of those levels, the crowd's farther away from the field than people think. In
Yeah,
MMA, the crowd is right. I mean, right there. Obviously, you haven't experienced that yet, but from everybody I talk to that gets into a cage, they're surprised how close the crowd feels. Even in wrestling, the crowd is up in bleachers. MMA, it's just within maybe 5-10 feet.
yeah,
Of
just like a jiu-jitsu match.
It is. It is. Well, yes. So do you feel a little bit more prepared since you've had a jiu-jitsu match where the crowd sometimes is on the same mat? It's like standing right
Yeah,
there,
yeah, so yeah, right there, yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a good fight. Well, it's gonna be a good fight. Cause I love the crowd, so it's gonna be crazy.
Well, I am glad that you're excited about the fight coming up, and I'm glad that you can't wait for the crowd to be there. Um, I also know that it's going to be a big night for your gym. It's going to be a big night for Pittsburgh MMA in general.
Mhm.
Besides your own fight, which we'll get to here in a second as far as prediction goes, who are you most excited to watch? There's two cards. I know you got people on them. Who are you excited to watch as a fan, or will you be cornering anybody?
No, I won't be cornering nobody, but I'm excited to watch Edwin.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good fight. Uh, Cody, everybody from my gym.
Everybody from your gym. Well, Cody's super exciting as another super exciting heavyweight, who both of your physique and just overall presence is incredible. I think that's why people get excited about heavyweights because of the power and the
Mm-hmm.
ferociousness. And of course, Cody's now going by a nickname, Incredible
Yeah.
Cody to go off the Incredible Hulk. It's going to be great stuff. But you mentioned Edwin, and for those that don't know, you've shared on this show before that Edwin Vera, who's putting together a pretty nice run in amateur MMA, and he's going down in weight. I think he's getting to a more realistic weight for him. He started up pretty high and he's been going lower, but he got you in to fighting, and I think it was a couple years ago. So just recap: Edwin asked you to come to watch him once in MMA or something, and you got pulled into it. Explain how Edwin got you into fighting one more time. It's such a great story.
Oh yeah, he asked me. He been asking me to come to practice and practice and practice. I'm like, no, no, no. And then when he fought and I went to the fight, I'm like,
That's what it was.
yes, 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 I'll be there. I will
Yeah,
be there Sunday. Whenever you get back, I'll be at practice with you on Sunday.
that's what it was. I knew it
So,
had to do with Edwin and fighting. And that also shows what going to a live. I will always plug live MMA. You as a fan of Edwin first, when you see it live, you can feel it more. You can see what's happening way more. Even though the videos at the UFC level are close, you don't get that sense that you're there with the person. And it sounds
yeah,
strange, and not to bring up your cardio issue in November, but breathing. You can literally hear the athletes breathe. And I think that makes, not quite sure why at UFC level, why we can't, probably because of all the other stuff that's going on. But I think the breathing and the closeness that the crowd has obviously led you to get excited and get in there. And everybody's going to have such a great fight. To my knowledge, it's one of the only, if not the only time, there's been a doubleheader in the same day of MMA in Pennsylvania. There's been nights, back to back, but to have a 1 o'clock and a 7 o'clock show, I've been telling people, come out, watch both shows, eat at a restaurant in between. The Monroeville Mall is closed. It's at the Monroeville Convention Center. But let's get to your prediction. Um, what is your prediction for this fight? Why should people come out? If the only fight on the card was you, Justin Pippens, why should they come out to see you?
because it's me and they know what I do and they know what I'm about. And there's going to be no judges. I already that. No judges, no judges. I can't do the judge thing. And I'm going to win. I'm not going to say knockout. Well, it's probably going to be like because I'm going to be standing a lot, but I'm going to try to stand a lot anyway. So probably a knockout. I don't know what round, but definitely not going to do no judges.
Well, that's a great attitude to have. And I think the people that fight like they don't want it to go to the judges end up winning when it does. If it were to go to the judges, and so it's I know you have a bitter taste in your mouth. Fine, you know what? do the Francis Ngannou plan, which has worked out pretty well for him. Just knock everybody out, then they can't worry.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
And I love Stipe. Stipe is probably my all-time favorite UFC fighter. His attitude, he's a fighter. He stayed local to his roots. Such a respectful champ. But even he couldn't stay conscious long enough. I think he probably had the game plan to beat Francis again in deep waters, but he couldn't stay conscious. If you can't stay conscious, you can't win. So that's one of the rules in fighting. So I agree. Obviously, I get to call your fights, and I'm always thrilled to be able to call your fights. I got excited about your last fight. I'm going to get even more excited about this fight. And I think your situational awareness, just like you're used to on the football field, will just increase in this fight because you'll be more aware of what happens in the cage. And I can't wait for May 22nd. Thanks for coming on. I know you had a busy day and then a training schedule and then to jump on tonight. So I appreciate you taking time out. Thanks again. Can't wait to see you May 22nd.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
You're welcome. You too.